Connections are an integral part of creativity, okay, creation, and they certainly apply to selling. And what I want to talk to you about today is explaining how to use universal laws to solve problems in sales and sell more. Now, if you downloaded the Transformation Toolkit from my book, you will have there is an aligned synergy checklist for you to use to remind yourself about universal laws. Today, I'm going to break down the synergy part of the checklist, which has to do with the 7 universal laws that apply to the universe and energy and how they translate into solving problems in sales. So the first law that I want to talk about shapes your future. So the S in synergy is shape. So I want you to think of a mold, like a cake mold, a jello mold, or whatever. And the law of perpetual transmutation states that energy is constantly moving in and out of form. So what does that mean, and what's it have to do with the mold? Well, you are designed and created in the image of your creator. And the way creation happens is we think in pictures. The pictures we hold in our mind are like molds, and those pictures shape our future. So the question you want to ask yourself if you're facing a challenge, which is also an opportunity, is what have I been thinking about most? Have I been thinking about the problem or the solution? And translated, that can mean, have I been thinking about what I want and how I can, or have I been thinking more about why I can't and what I don't want? And depending upon the majority of the time that you're thinking, how you're holding, your thoughts are holding that mold for the energy that's moving to and through you, that's always trying to change form. Well, when you concentrate on one thing, either what you want or what you don't want, either how you can or how you can't, you're holding energy in place, and it's causing a mold, and it's causing the results in your life. So the best way to solve a problem is to flip to the solution channel and start thinking about the solutions, all the ways that you can solve the problem, and brainstorming that to get some momentum moving. So that's the S in synergy. And remember, energy is the main law, and there's 7 components that when mixed and you use all 7 laws are going to help you solve the problem. Okay, so the first thing is, what have I been thinking about that's shaping my future? Am I more focused on the problem or the solution? And if I've been overthinking about the problem, you want to immediately switch your thoughts to being solution oriented. Okay, the Y in synergy is the next law, which is the law of vibration and attraction. So in my book, as you know, if you've read, I say that your radio station's always on, right? And so you have a radio station, right? So the why is, do I have the Yes I Can radio station on, or am I on some other channel that's not going to help me solve the problem? So vibration is the attitude that you're putting out. So your thoughts, your feelings, and the actions you're taking is some energy field of the energy from your radio station going out. And whatever that radio station vibration is, it's coming back to you, and it often comes back multiplied. But your vibration causes the attraction. So the question you want to ask yourself is, do I have my Yes I Can attitude on? Because when the attitude's right, the facts don't matter. When you get that attitude like, yes, I can, you're going to solve problems and you're going to come up with your own solutions. Just think back to how many problems you've solved in your life so far, just by putting on that yes, I can attitude. Okay, the next one is the N for navigate. And what you're doing with the navigation, the N, is I want you to think of the law of polarity. So the law of polarity states that everything has an opposite, that there's duality in everything. You can't have one side of the paper without the other. You can't have a top without the bottom. So when you think polarity, you want to think about the fact that you have the ability through your focus to transmute energy in any situation. So if you're the navigator and you're the master of your mind, what you want to concentrate on and navigate towards is focusing on the good, seeing opportunity even in the midst of adversity, because if adversity is there, opportunity in the same proportion is available to you as well. And so if you navigate and you're focused on the good and looking for the opportunity, you will find it. So polarity is your ability to transmute any situation, no matter how bad it may seem, by flipping the channel of where your focus is, because good and bad are always going to be present. All right, so that's the N. Then we go to, on the sheet, we go to the explore. So the law of rhythm states that in life, for all advancement, there will be peaks and valleys. So sometimes you're climbing and you're hitting a peak, and then you're going into a valley. So the law of rhythm states that what you want to think about is what cycle are you in, and if you're on a downward cycle, just remember that the law of advancement states that anything that's going to go up first has to go down. So think of it. When you build a building, the foundation, you have to dig into the foundation, into the dirt first, and build the foundation before the high rise can show up. So anytime that you are going through a down cycle, you have to ask yourself, okay, great. I'm being planted for something bigger and better. And what is this preparing me for? And then you have to welcome the fact that you're being planted and you're being prepared for something much greater, and turn that into some excitement, realizing that there's always going to be peaks and valleys, because the human race is in a evolution to evolve and advance forward. Right? You're not a beaver, you're not a duck, you're a human being. Human beings are designed to advance. They're designed to succeed. Okay, so the next one that you see on here is the R. So the R is about relativity. And so the law of relativity states that everything just is until it's compared to something. So you want to make sure that you use the law of relativity for you, not against you. What most people do is they tend to think about what's missing, what's lacking, or what they should have done. And that's the key ingredient to causing yourself frustration. When you take control of your mind and you apply the universal laws for selling success, what you're going to think about is that where have you been before and where have you come from? Because if you look back at all the past advancements that you make, and you keep looking at all the things that you've learned up to this point and where you started out from and where you came, you're going to be thinking from the positive on only if you do any kind of a comparison is just looking at yourself and where you came from and where you are already. You're going to start feeling good about the things and remembering that you are invincible, that you can do anything that you set your mind to. So use the law of relativity for you. The G is for signaling for the law of cause and effect. And basically the law of cause and effect is like the boomerang. And so what you want to do is you want to throw out good so the good's coming back to you. So the cause and effect is a phenomenon in science and energy, that whatever energy we're putting out towards something is going to come back to us. So if that energy is aligned with good, with intention behind it for good, then you're going to be in alignment with law. And as you're thinking about servicing others, you're going to be more obsessed with coming from the market than gaining something from the market, right? So you want to be totally obsessed with your customers' problems and how you can solve them. And when you get into that mode and you're putting out intention, you're leaving people with an impression of increase, you're leaving them off better than you have, you're giving them products that are going to give them a 10x value. Now you've really locked into something that's going to bring you increasing returns. And is what I talk about in the book with the law of cause and effect, is that it's not linear, it's non-linear, so it's going to come back to you multiplied, and it's coming from all over the universe. So don't necessarily get frustrated if it doesn't come from where you gave, but just know that when you're doing that, you have intention for good and you're putting out good. It's coming back to you by law. And then the last one, for the why, you'll see a picture I have there for you, and that's, your why. The why in Synergy is about your why. This is the law of gestation. And what you want to think about is the intention of why you do what you do, tapping into your purpose and your why. Because when you tap into your why are you here? Why are you in this position? What is it that you're doing that you want to help others with using your unique gifts and talents? And you tap into that, you're going to unlock into some power source that's going to give you a second gear that you didn't know you had. And things do take time. They call it God's time sometimes for gestation to take place. And remember that gestation has to do with belief matching desire. So if you know what you're doing and why you're doing it, because you're tapped into your purpose and you believe in your purpose, you believe that you have those talents to share and do exchange with other people who desperately need those services, then that why is going to carry you through the gestation period. And as that belief and conviction grows, because you know that you're doing something good for the intention of the harmonious good of all concerned, and you're putting that out, then you're going to create synergy, and you're going to solve some more problems in a way that you've never had before, because that power of purpose is going to be behind you to do it. So the summary of today really is to think of energy is one. It's one. It's a whole, like a rainbow, right? And it has 7 components with these 7 laws. And when you use the 7 laws to go through ask yourself, am I focused on problem or solution? And you use each one of the laws, whether it's the law of transmutation, what you're thinking about all day, whether it's the law of vibration, what your attitude is and what you're putting out and how you show up, whether it's the law of relativity, whether you're thinking about where you come and where you're coming, where you're going, and the accomplishments that you made, that's gonna help spur you forward. You're gonna use the law of rhythm to understand that all cycles happen for my benefit, for the law of advancement, right? And then every down is followed by an up. So you've got to get excited and figure out what is this preparing me for, and have anticipation. The law of gestation, you have to have, allow things to germinate and gestate to come to fruition, but that has to do with bringing your belief up to your desire level. And the law of cause and effect about what you're putting out is going to come back multiplied. So when you put all 7 of those together, you get the essence of synergy, which is a combination of something bigger than any one of those by themselves can be combined. And when you use that to solve problems, you're going to be able to sell more, and you're going to really create some fabulous momentum to inspire others and create a movement that's going to bring sustainable success and momentum. So I hope that helps. Put any comments in your chat, but that's how you can use the laws, the 7 laws in your sales process to solve problems, putting that synergy together of all 7 of those laws. I hope that helps. Have a great day.